Do you ever think you just can't draw fur nicely and you get a bit frustrated? It's very common, we all go through it. And my best advice is to work on little projects like this rabbit. It's just a cute little image, so it's very tempting to draw. It's a small size, so it's not going to take or soak up hours and hours of your time. There's some really interesting textures here, like the ears. They're just basically thin cartilage with a bit of lovely light and shadow on them. And there's the fur, there's short fur, there's long fur, and there's a variation in the values of the fur. Plus he's sitting in some lovely soft grass. So they're all things that we can practice without devoting hours and hours to a big drawing. And here I'm just on the refining stages. The rabbit's basically finished. I'm just fine-tuning the values, putting in the shadows and working on getting depth in the fur. So I've probably already done 3 to 4 layers of pencil, and I'm just going and refining little areas that need a touch-up, deepening some of the shadows, like this one under the neck, as well as differentiating between the 2 ears. And here specifically I'm working on the edges. So I've got a patch of dark fur meeting light fur, and I've got to be very, very specific that reads accurately and it looks realistic. And then we can start on the grass. So I use a graphite stick. This is a 2B, and I have a little knife, and one method I use is shaving it directly onto the paper, just to spread it out nice and evenly. And then I grab a tissue and I make sure when I wrap it around my finger that there's not a crease. So it's got a nice flat edge, and then I can just gently blend that into the paper. And this gives me a really nice grounding. Covers an area quickly, and it's just a nice softness. Again, you can put multiple layers down. And then the kneadable eraser is very handy. Shape it to a thin edge and just lift out a few little random grass, blades of grass, just to add a bit of light variety. Come back in with a pencil and define a few more blades of grass. I really believe grass should be understated and soft, because this drawing is about the rabbit, and if you make the grass too busy, it's going to detract from the rabbit. It's just giving him a grounding and a place to be rather than being overstated. But in saying that, you don't want to leave it looking wishy-washy either. So it's just finding a nice fine balance between the two. A few little random strokes. Be very aware not to make patterns with your blades of grass so that they look too individual and unrealistic. Checking again for values and just adding a few little touch-ups. Darkening little areas just makes all the difference. Just standing back and looking at what can be adjusted, just to fine-tune that fur, keeping it soft. Every pencil stroke is soft because the fur is soft. And then when you feel it's done, call it done. It's finished, and it's great practice.